Hi guys, my name is Noni Matigela. Welcome to the Noni M podcast. So today we are talking about Judge Parker. He is a judge from the Cape side here in the Western Cape. I want to read this because I saw this and I was like very interested in it, and I started checking out because I'm like, Aibo, we have someone else who is a judge who's also in trouble. That means we need to talk about this. Let's get to it. So Ground Up Group wrote this article on the 24th of February 2025. So details Cape Judge faces impeachment. Judge Mushtaq Parker is appearing before a judicial conduct tribunal in a case that involves allegations of physical assault, sexual harassment, and stolen trust money. Kanti, what's going on with the judges in South Africa? Highwayna. Okay, judges have testified that Western Cape High Court Judge Mushtaq Parker told them that now former Judge President John Hlophe physically attacked him in his chambers in February 2019. But Judge Parker then recanted the claim and is now facing charges of gross misconduct before a judicial conduct tribunal following a complaint laid by 10 judges that one way or another he had lied. Evidence was heard that Hlophe had been angered by a claim by his now ex-wife Judge Gate Sally Hlophe that Judge Parker had sexually harassed her by tugging at her robe. Judge Parker is facing another charge relating to his non-disclosure that his former law firm had a trust fund and deficit at the time of his interview and judicial appointment. Western Cape Judge President John Hlophe, now impeached, accused his colleague Judge Mushtaq Parker of wanting to have sex with his wife before pushing him violently against a bookcase, jamming his back into a key, which then broke, causing him to fall to the ground, injuring his back. This was related by Judge Parker to several judges in the division, one of whom even assisted him in writing up an affidavit detailing what happened. However, Judge Parker later recanted his version of events and withdrew a complaint against Hlophe, saying he had misconstrued the events of the day. Now, Judge Parker is facing possible impeachment for giving these two contradictory and mutually exclusive versions about what happened in his chambers in February 2019. On Monday, a judicial conduct tribunal headed by retired Judge Bernard Ngope heard evidence relating to this charge, which emanated from a complaint laid by 10 Western Cape High Court judges. Judge Parker is also facing a further charge of dishonesty in that he did not disclose when accepting appointment as an acting judge and permanent judge that the law firm of which he was the managing partner had a trust fund deficit of millions of rand. A judicial conduct committee previously ruled that he must face a tribunal to determine if he breached the judicial code of conduct and if and is fit and proper to stay on the bench. It was unclear from Monday proceedings what Parker's version is. He has made no formal admissions, and his advocate, William King, said that his instructions were not to raise factual disputes and that his client would not testify. He did not pose a single question to any of the witnesses. Most of them were sitting judges called by evidence leader Dr. Chris Nzengu to confirm the contents of affidavits they had made concerning what Parker had told them. Alleged assault by Hlophe. Judge Derek Willie, who is not one of the 10 complainants, said Parker had approached him in 2019 very upset, alleging Hlophe had physically attacked him in his chambers. Willie wrote up an affidavit for him and, at Parker's request, had emailed it to his private email address. At that time, he also brought along the damaged key, which he said broke when he fell against the bookcase after being struck by the judge president, Willie said. Willie said he had photographed the key on his phone. He had kept a copy of unsigned statement. Parker had returned later that day with 2 copies of the affidavit now commissioned and asked him to keep one of them for safekeeping. Sometime after that, Parker asked him to return the original affidavit to him. At some stage, because of Parker's U-turn on the incident, many of his colleagues refused to work with him and had laid a complaint against him. I took a slightly different view. My position was neutral, like Switzerland, said Willie. Judge Judith Cloete said Parker had disclosed the assault to her while they were presiding over a civil appeal, but she only learned the details when she received her colleague's complaint letter against Parker and Parker's response, in which he claimed that events may not have unfolded in the way I initially perceived. She said she found the letter deeply concerning, given that he had told her about the assault in December 2019. Just few months later, in March 2020, he was saying something different. Parker had subsequently written to her, accusing her of aligning herself with those attempting to discredit him and Hlophe. Judge Andre Lagrange also testified that Parker told him about the assault. Judge Mark O'Shea, who said he had known Parker for years before they both became judges, said he had approached him after hearing rumors. Parker had told him that Hlophe had been angry and accused him of wanting a sexual relationship with his then wife, Judge Gaynet Sally Hlophe. I don't know whether it's Gaynet or Gaynet Sally Hlophe. This was after Parker had apparently tugged at her gown in the tea room, which she considered to be sexual harassment. According to Cher, Parker told him that he was trying to explain that the allegation was not true when Hlophe advanced on him in a threatening manner and pushed him backward into the bookcase. Sherry said Parker had been very upset by the incident, had gone for counseling, and told him that Judge Willie had helped him draft an affidavit. Later, Parker told him that he had been called into a meeting with JP and 2 other judges, and there was a suggestion that he had been pressurized not to proceed with any action. But Parker did not at any stage say he had misconstrued what had occurred. Judge Elizabeth Stein said she too had heard the rumors and had read reports in the media about the assault. I felt sorry for him. He looked drained and stressed. At one stage, I walked past his chambers in January 2020 and stopped and said, I'm really sorry about what's going on in your life. Asked him if it was really true that he was assaulted, and then he described the incident to me. He was still terribly upset, and as was his wife. He told me his wife said there was still a mark on his back from the key. Later, when Parker retracted what he had said about the assault, he had told her that some people have their own agendas and wanted him to lay a complaint against Hlophe. Whoa. He never said the assault did not take place. Advocate Geoff Badlander, who is representing the 10 complainant judges, said that in light of the fact the evidence given so far was undisputed with no cross-examination, it would be unnecessary to call any more judges and close his case. Trust deficit regarding the complaint concerning Parker's law firm and its trust deficit, which was lodged by the Cape Bar Council. Former Council Chair Andrew Breitenbach said the complaint was largely based on court papers in a strike-off application by Legal Practice Council, LPC, involving Parker's former law firm, Parker and Khan Incorporated. He said over a number of years, the firm had a trust deficit of between 4.7 million and 7 million rand. But this had never been reported to the LPC, and there was evidence that Parker himself was well aware of it. When he applied for permanent appointment in 2017, he had not disclosed these matters in his questionnaire nor during his interview. The council submits that his conduct is not compatible with one holding judicial office and constitutes a gross negligent breach to uphold the dignity of the judiciary, Breitenberg said. Judge Parker's brother, Irfan Parker, Judge Parker's brother and partner in the law firm, was a reluctant witness. Initially, he asked that his face be concealed on the Zoom link due to the sensitivity of the matter. But after an objection by Advocate King, he consented. Asked by the advocate Janet McCarty for the Cape Bar if he was confirming that the shortfall in the trust account had been noticed as early as June 2016 and that it was in the knowledge of yourself and your brother, he replied, I do confirm the contents of my affidavit, but I am not going to further indulge on that. It's pretty obvious why. I was assured that I would have to do nothing more than confirm the correctness and truthfulness of the affidavit. The hearing of the evidence was finalized on Monday. The tribunal will hear oral argument on the 29th of April. So this is the first reading that I wanted to do for you guys. Haibo. And then this is what Judges Meta had to say about the situation. Oh, okay. Let's see this. Judicial Conduct Tribunal of Judge Parker. Judicial Conduct Tribunal to conduct hearing on the complaints lodged by 10 judges of the Western Cape Division of the High Court and the Cape Bar Council against Judge M.K. Parker of the Western Cape Division of the High Court. The media advised the Judicial Conduct Tribunal, comprising Judge B.M. Mohope, retired Judge President of Gauteng Division, the High Court designated in terms of Section 22(1)(a)(b) of Judicial Services Commission Act 1994 as the Tribunal President, and Judge P. Borungwitz, retired Judge of the Gauteng Division of High Court, and Mr. D. Timunye as non-judicial member of the tribunal will convene for the hearing of the complaints lodged by 10 judges of the Western Cape Division of High Court and Cape Bar Council against Judge M.K. Parker. The hearing will take place as follows: 24 to the 28th of February 2025, venue virtual, time 10 o'clock. The tribunal will conduct proceedings virtual. Okay, so they were just telling people when and how this will be. That was then in February. And then now we have this one 6 days ago. Let's read, maybe this one will be very short. Evidence leader submits that JCT recommended Western Cape Judge Parker's impeachment to the Judicial Services Commission. Dr. Chris Nzengu says Parker has rendered himself guilty of gross misconduct, warranting his removal as a judge. Evidence leader, okay. During the tribunal's hearings in February this year, testimony was given about how Parker alerted other judges on the Western Cape bench that he was assaulted by then Judge President of the division, Dr. John Hlophe, but later made a U-turn in a contradictory affidavit. The tribunal is hearing closing arguments in the fact-finding mission on Parker's conduct. The consequences of suspended Parker's sudden retraction of an earlier affidavit in which he claimed that Hlophe assaulted and injured him led to frictions and disunity on the Cape bench. It was a result of Parker's initial statement. Western Cape Deputy Judge President Patricia Goliath filed a complaint with JSC Hlophe and his wife, Judge Reinet Sally Hlophe. But Hlophe denied this, laid a counter-complaint and lashed out at Goliath, accusing her of making malicious allegations. The U-turn created distrust among the judges, with Parker's colleagues refusing to share the bench with him, as explained by the evidence leader, Dr. Chris Nzengu, in the virtual hearing that is sitting for closing argument in the probe against the judge. And we have heard thoroughly all the justice confirming one aspect: the assault took place and that is the truth. And since it took place, the responded change of tact, indicating that it never took place, led to the stressful tensions within the bench in Cape Town, to the extent that a number of justices resolved not to sit with the respondent or share the bench with him. Nzengu says there is only one account that has been corroborated, that Hlophe indeed assaulted Parker, and that the version had no assault had taken place cannot be tested. Okay, this is the last one that I'm going to read. I hope I still have time. Concerns grow. This is from IOL. Concerns grow over Judge Mushak Parker's silence amid misconduct allegations. Western Cape High Court Judge Mushak Parker ugly silence during the Judicial Conduct Tribunal into two complaints amounting to gross misconduct came under strict scrutiny as the tribunal had the closing argument on the matter on Tuesday. The tribunal reserved its decision after arguments were heard in which Parker is accused of bringing the judiciary into disrepute by committing the cardinal sin of lying under oath when he deposed an affidavit which alleged that he was physically assaulted by Judge President John Hlophe, and then a year later retracted that version in a contradictory affidavit. In the second complaint, the Cape Bar Council accused Judge Parker of misconduct for not disclosing pertinent information in his application at his interview to be a judge. Parker omitted information relating to the professional affairs of his former law firm, which is accused by Legal Practice Council of misappropriating 8 million of clients' monies by running up a deficit in a client's trust account. The complaints against Parker indicate gross misconduct that would be seen as bridging the judiciary into disrepute and could spell his impeachment. Before the tribunal, Parker elected not to call any witnesses or challenge the evidence led. JSC evidence leader Dr. Chris Nzengu headlined his closing arguments when he pointed out that the judge should exhibit and promote high standards of judicial conduct to reinforce public confidence in the judiciary, which is fundamental to the maintenance of justice. This tribunal is on a fact-finding mission and exercise, and with that in mind, the tribunal must establish the truth in this matter. I make my submissions that the silence from the respondent Parker has closed the door to this tribunal in knowing what actually happened. That is not what is expected from or of a judge, said Nzengu. Nzengu highlighted the corroboration of the first complaint, where 10 justices confirmed one aspect of the complaint relating to the alleged assault that occurred. Since it took place, Parker's change of tact, indicating that it never took place, led to stressful tensions within the bench in Cape Town, to the extent that a number of justices resolved not to sit with Parker or share the bench with him, and that is the consequence of the untruth, said Nzengu. In closing arguments for the judges who corroborated evidence against Parker in respect of the alleged assault, Jewett Butler said all accounts of what happened were consistent with the initial affidavit made by Parker. He also submitted that Parker, who submitted a contradictory affidavit to the alleged assault by Hlophe, lied repeatedly to 8 colleagues over a year. Parker's refusal to break his silence or offer an apology has been interpreted as ugly, and his conduct during the hearing was described as unacceptable. Parker has given 2 conflicting versions of the assault of Hlophe. We submit that the outcome of his inquiry is the same, whichever of those versions is the truth. We do say that the overwhelming probability of the evidence is that Judge Hlophe assaulted Judge Parker, and that's what he said in a contemporaneous affidavit. And that is what he said happened in private discussions with 8 of his judicial colleagues, said the judge. But Lender further submitted that Parker deliberately told an untruth and that if a judge lies to the Judicial Services Commission, it cuts the credibility of the judiciary in the public's eye. And if a judge lies repeatedly, he is not fit for a judicial role. Judge Bernard Ngope, who chaired the hearing, added that the picture of a broken key, which was damaged after Parker was allegedly shoved into a cabinet in chambers, is real evidence of an altercation that occurred. Parker's senior counsel, William King, said his client's silence should not be seen as ugly and should not be considered as an aggravating factor. King further submitted that the sanction to be imposed is for Parliament to decide. Yo, South Africa, Haibo, these things are happening in between the judges there. They happened here in the Western Cape province. They get angry to an extent that they don't want to sit with one another. Haibo, I'm not really laughing, but wow, are these people not old people? What is this now? Anyway, so it is what it is, Gesana. I just wanted to share this with you. Are you aware there is a judge who had an altercation with Judge Thorpe, and this is what happened? So all the reading was for that. I want to hear your views. What are you thinking about the judiciary when it comes to such issues, guys? Thank you so much. I will see you on our next video. Yo, me, I'm shocked. Bye-bye.